up, guys? So we're back at home. Finally, it's been 2 weeks away from home working. I needed some help over in Colorado, so I spent a couple weeks over there working, made a bunch of money. But while I was gone, my dad got this project for us. It's not ours, but it's one of our neighbors. My dad was selling some bikes out here, and he came up and asked if we knew how to work on one of these, and said yeah, sure. So we offered to help him out, see if we can get it running, see what's wrong with it. It's got this homemade kill switch hooked into it, so we might have to address that. I don't know if it works or what's going on with there. It kind of looks janky hanging down. Yeah, so I think it's probably just going to end up being a gummed up carburetor, like it always is with these little small engines. It's always just a dirty carburetor. So we'll check spark, kind of get the carburetor pulled off, make sure it's all cleaned out, and then we'll go from there. It doesn't look like an old bike. A little bit of flat tires, we'll air those up. So yeah, tires look brand new. Nothing's faded on it. It doesn't look like an old bike. I think it was just probably sitting too long with a little bit of gas in it, and got gummed up its pull start instead of kick start, so that'd kind of be annoying, but we'll see what we can do. But yeah, best thing to do is just tear into it, see what we can do. I think we can probably get it fixed, but stick around and find out. Let's get after it. Alright guys, just start by getting this carburetor out of here. Not really sure how that's supposed to come off there, but Alright, let's see. They didn't give me much room to work around in here. Look how tight that thing is. The freaking air cleaner is touching that bolt for the swing arm. So they don't give you very much room to work around in there, because you got to pull the air cleaner off to get the carburetor unbolted, because the bolts are behind it. So not. Oh, okay. I think we got it. Oh, maybe. I was puzzled to get it out of there. That's not a very good air cleaner to begin with. Huh. Yeah. Alright, well, we got that part off. Now it looks like we got 2 Phillips screws holding the carburetor on. We got 2 Phillips screws, the throttle cable, and the fuel line, which it has about a half tank of fuel in it. So we'll have to get that drained out. And then we will go from there. So let's start with getting the fuel unhooked, because it doesn't have the shutoffs down here on the carburetor. So the second I take this line off, it's going to start pouring out. So let me grab something to get the fuel drained into. Got a trusty Maverick. A fountain drink. Maybe a pair of pliers would work better. Pliers. Hey, look at that. That worked way better than my fingers. Alright. See how much of a mess we can make. Alright. Interesting. It's got blue fuel in it. Which means I think they put 2-stroke oil in it, which I don't think this is a 2-stroke. I think this is just a 4-stroke. Maybe not. It does have the expansion chamber on the exhaust, so maybe it is a 2-stroke. Well, I hope this cup's big enough. What do you guys think? Think we're gonna make a mess here in just a second? I don't know how big this tank was. Oh, it's a pretty big tank. You better think of something fast. Okay, we're just gonna have to cap it off. Oh, shoot! I mean, shoot! Oh, we're making a mess. Oh, we're making a mess. Oh, we're making a mess. I need a cup. Are you having that bucket? Yeah. My cup wasn't.
Hello? Hello? I'm not pushing.
Okay, hold on. My cup wasn't big enough.
We got $1.75. Yeah, I was put $1.75 in it.
Yeah, it's for overflowing my cup.
I wonder where the mix came from. I didn't put the mix in it.
No, that's what I was wondering. I was like, why has it got blue fuel in it? But it does have the expansion chamber on the exhaust. So
It's 4-stroke.
is it 4-stroke?
Yeah, it's 4-stroke.
Alright, so I was wondering why it has an expansion chamber if it's 4-stroke. Because I was wondering the same thing when it started coming out blue. Might have to find another fuel line. This one has a little pinhole in it. I went to plug the end and it started shooting out the side of it. Okay guys, we'll be right back after this gets done draining. Okay, got the fuel drained. It's kind of hectic there for a minute, but we got it. Now we can just start taking these. Got to take this plastic adapter for the air cleaner off. And then we can get to the, I kind of just stacked everything up on the back of here. Because you got the carburetor that's bolted on, and then they bolted this plastic piece over the top of those bolts. And then you got your air cleaner that bolts on top of that. So you kind of have to unsandwich everything to get the carburetor off, but we'll get it. And now it looks like we got 2 Allen screws, bolts. That's the little plastic adapter for the air cleaner. Goes on there, bolts onto the back. So let me grab an Allen wrench. Okay, carburetor's loose. Well, that's not a good sign, is it? Alright. I don't know if you guys can see that. But the throttle cable goes in there sideways, and it's JB. There's a bunch of JB weld all over the place. I don't know what's going on with that. Look at it. It's all kind of sideways.
Oh, and all JB welded, man. Oh yeah, go ahead. Can you fix this? I think we're out to just buy a new carburetor. I'll bet you.
Let's pull it off there and see what's going on with it. See what they got going on.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing that's why it's not working. I'm guessing that's why the throttle's stuck.
Mm-hmm.
It's because the freaking cap's cross-threaded on
JB
it.
welded.
Should untwist this part,
Yeah, that's supposed to.
and then your throttle comes out.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that's stripped or something. Still goob it up with. Huh?
It's gonna come on. It's not even right.
It's not even JB weld.
No,
It's
probably
like some-
silicone because they couldn't. Them are really fine threads. So you got to get them run right.
It's
After you clean that up, that might just come out. That might just.
it's not JB weld because it's like silicone. So,
That's the
yeah,
problem.
carburetor definitely needs cleaned up. We'll get all that junk off of there. Doesn't look like the threads are junked on it completely. I don't know, they don't look the best, but they still don't look total garbage. So alright guys, so let's see. Let me get reset up so you guys can actually see me working on this thing. Alright guys, so looks like it's pretty standard. Got your fuel shut off here, your main choke. Looks like this might be like a overflow for if you flood it, because it just comes down here just to an open line. Got your normal float bowl, drain screw, 2 screws to hold it on. Looks like you have your idle screw right here on the side. Holds your throttle up, this piece. I don't know if you guys can. This piece right here. It'll hold it up in out of the carburetor a little bit and open up the gap inside that hole. But yeah, so we'll just tear into this carburetor and see how gummed up it is, and hit it with some parts cleaner and see what happens. I'm thinking most of our issue is going to be that throttle cable being in there sideways, but we're going to go ahead and clean this up while we got it out anyway. Grab a couple more rags. It's one thing you gotta make sure you keep plenty of is rags. 'Cause between parts and hands, everything gets dirty when you're working on stuff like this. So keep a good amount of rags on hand. Definitely do not recommend using the wife's good towels out of the house. Don't do that. Because she is bound to get mad if you use her good towels out of the house. Guarantee. Well, it doesn't look too dirty. Look at that. I mean, they used way too much 2-cycle in it. I still don't know completely on this whether this is 2-stroke. I don't know enough about dirt bikes. I guess that's got to go out the other side because I see they have a mark out on that side. So we'll grab it from the other side. You just pull this pin out, and that's the little float fork that pushes your float up and down, which in turn pushes this needle down in this little recess right here, and that's what shuts your fuel off. See, it goes straight up through the carburetor to your fuel line. So when that bowl fills up, it picks this little bubble up, pushes this fork. See if I can put this back together. So you got this little fork like this, and it goes like this. So when your fuel fills up, this will float. That's why they call it a float. And it'll float up, and it'll push this needle up. And it pushes it up into this recess, and that little angled part right there sticks up in there and shuts your fuel off. If you don't know how this stuff works, it's kind of an explanation how the float carburetor works. It's a pretty common concept on older vehicles. Newer stuff has all fuel injection and all that stuff, but carburetors have been around a long time. A lot longer than me. But, okay. So, I gotta take a little break. Gotta fix the wife's car real quick, and then it'll only be a second for you guys, but yeah, give me just a second and we will get back to tearing this thing apart. Okay guys, we're back. Maybe if I can get the right screwdriver. Alright, now we're back for real this time. Usually these carburetors, they plug up in this little needle right here. There's a tiny, I don't know if you guys will probably be able to see that. Oh, right there maybe. See that little bit of light you can see in there? There's a tiniest little pinhole in there. And what it does is it sucks the fuel up from the bowl. So you got your bowl and this fills up with fuel, and it kind of sucks like a straw up into the intake, and it goes up, and the little needle from this throttle lifts up and it lets more fuel through, and it comes in and goes into the engine this way. So that's kind of what this hole does, and a lot of times that hole inside there plugs up, and then no matter how much you move that needle, it won't let fuel go through it. But it looks like it's cleaned up, so we'll just continue taking this apart and just making sure everything's clean. Take this idler screw out of here. Okay, I'm not gonna pull that apart any further. We'll just kind of spray it. It looks like everything's pretty clean. We'll try to get this stuff off here. It's like silicone. I thought it was JB Weld, but it's all soft. But we'll get all that out of there. Clean up these threads. Kind of clean up a little bit, and then we'll just put it back together. It looks fairly clean. I don't think the carburetor being dirty was our issue. Alright guys, so I got it cleaned up. I got most of that JB Weld. I didn't get all of it. I think we'll be alright. The threads do kind of look jacked up on it, but yeah, crap. Definitely what they had going on. Threads are junked. They didn't look like they were, but I can just push that thing on. Because it kind of catches in some spots, but not others. So you can pretty much just push it on. Wiggle it and it pops off. So, One wondering. Let me look around, see what we got. I might have some carburetor parts. Okay, so I got this carburetor off of one of them bicycle kits. You put the little motor on the bicycle. I'm just trying to see if one of these throttle adapters will adapt to this and tighten down. Which it seems like it does. Alright guys, so we got the fix for the new to fix the throttle cable, because I did find out that it is stripped out. I didn't think it was, but it is. You can just push it on and pull it right back off. So this one will work. It'll thread on there and actually catch. But we'll go ahead and get this carburetor put back together, and then we'll get that part switched out and we'll get this thing put back together. Put our needle seat in there, throttle position screw, I'll just kind of go just barely in there. If we need to adjust it later, we can. Put this little stopper in. Slide this pin back through there. See how that bounces. So when your fuel fills up, it pushes this. When your fuel fills up, pushes this fork up, and it'll close off the fuel from your fuel line, and then when your float drops, it'll let fuel in again. I forgot to clean up this bowl. Okay, so this goes on there like that. Don't forget to put your gasket back in there. You'll find out real quick that you forgot once you turn your gas on. Alright. Put our little hose back on there for our return, I think, or whatever it is. Excess dump. I think it's for extra fuel. If it gets too much fuel or something, can kind of bypass it and just dumps it out the bottom of the bike straight there. But okay, so carburetor's all put back together. I didn't take apart the shut off. I didn't want to deal with all the spring in there and everything, so we just left it alone. Should be alright. Everything else was clean all the way through it, so I don't think we'll have any issues. I think our issue was this throttle cable right here. So pop the cable out the side like that. And then this piece comes off. Spring comes out. And then that piece slides off, and then we'll just slide our new one right in place of it, because it's pretty much the same. Might be a hair shorter on the new one. This is the new one, but we can adjust it if we need to. So it's got the same adjustment screws, but this one will actually thread on and this one doesn't. So I'll go ahead and just put this on here, put it back together the way we took it apart. Alright.
Bye, guys.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle.
Oh.
And then we did notice that the air cleaner off of this carburetor, off the bicycle, will actually work on the back of this one. So we'll go ahead and swap out that crappy one for this one. Should help out. Like I showed you before, this one's split open. It's not going to do very good. It's dirty and junked. So let's go ahead and swap it out to this plastic one. It's got like a little Scotch Brite pad inside of it type of thing. Material I'll show you when we take it apart. But we'll go ahead and get this throttle cable threaded onto here, and we'll get this bolted back on. I'm going to do the throttle cable out here so that I can make sure it gets seated in there and gets tightened down really good, because I don't want that to rattle loose and strip this one out, and then we're back in the same boat that we're in right now. So, and if you look down in there, there's a little locator pin that this little groove slides into. There's only one way you can put them in there, because it'll slide down, and if you don't get it lined up, it'll stop. But once you get it lined up, it slides right in.
should have checked it, made sure your throttle was gonna work.
It does.
Does it work?
Hmm?
Did you turn all your adjusters in? You figured out you should have.
Okay. So I'm not gonna do much with the adjuster screws till we get it all put back together, and then we'll hook it up. But we'll shove this back in here. Okay, guys. Sorry about that. I had to go attend to the baby, but had to charge the camera as well. So I went in and got me a snack. I know you guys know I love my snacks. Hey man, gotta keep hydrated and keep your belly full. Don't want no hangriness around here. But should be good. Gonna get this carburetor put back on here, and just 2 bolts, 2 Allen bolts, and then we will get the fuel line hooked back up, and then we will get this new air cleaner. We'll get it pulled off of this other carburetor and get it put onto this one. Like I said, they don't give me much room to get any tools in here to work on this stuff. I'm not even completely sure. I think this is just like a no-name brand. SYX 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 Moto. It's the X Works Factory Edition. Yeah, SYX Moto. Never even heard of it. It's probably just a no-name brand, Chinese, Amazon special. I don't know. One of them. Something. But like I said, it looks pretty brand new, so can't be too old. Everything still looks pretty clean on it. I think just somebody got in here, was working on stuff, stripped out that throttle cable, and then didn't realize it. Tried to goober some silicone on there to seal it, and it didn't work. So, but I think we got that all fixed. It's all cleaned out. So, just getting this tightened down, and then we will go get the air cleaner on. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and got the carburetor tightened up. So we're going to go ahead and pull this breather off of this other carburetor. Like I said, this carburetor came out of, I don't know if you guys have seen them or heard about them, but it's a little motor kit that you can get to put on your bicycle. Comes with everything you need to put a motor, just a little 2-stroke motor on a pedal bike. And my dad built many of them bikes, so we have a bunch of parts laying around for him. We have this carburetor laying back there, and it's the same kind of thing. It's just bolts on with 2 bolts, same bolt pattern, lines up. So we'll just take this and bolt it onto the back of the carburetor, and we should be good. Well, we'll actually hold off on air cleaner for a minute. Let's actually hook the fuel back up, and we'll dump a little bit of the fuel back into the fuel tank here. Well, maybe we'll just spray some starting fluid if I've got some. Maybe we'll just throw some of that ether in there and just give her a tug and see if she gives us any life signs. If not, we'll flip this switch, try it again. And if she gives us signs of life, then we will hook the fuel line up. Well, we'll hook the fuel line up before, but if so, then we will put some fuel in the tank. One thing I did notice when we had our fuel mishap was that this line has a pinhole in it. So I'm going to actually shorten this line up just a little bit. See that big split in the side of it? I don't know if you can see that, but there's a split, and I found it because I went to plug it with my finger and fuel started squirting out the side of it. You saw it. Made a mess. So we're going to cut that fuel line back a little ways, just to make sure we don't have any fuel leaks when we do end up putting fuel in this. Because like I said, there's no fuel shutoff switch from the tank to the carburetor. There is one on the carburetor, but that would be after this line. So this line, if it has a leak in it, we're not going to be able to stop it because there's no shutoff on the actual tank itself. So we just want to make sure we're not going to have any issues once we put fuel in this thing, because it was kind of scary the first time. I'm just lucky my dad came out at the right time, because he came walking out right as that cup was filling up. Was able to hand me that bucket. Saved my bacon. Come on, get on there. Fuel makes everything so slick. Pot. Okay, so now let's grab some starting fluid and see what happens. Alright. Give her a little snort right down the tube. Jesus! That scared the crap out of me, man. I wasn't expecting that at all. Wow. Alright, well, I guess you could say she barked off. She's a loud sucker for being so little. Alright. Well, yeah, I'll call that a success. So, So let's try something here real quick. Let's shut that switch off, and I'm gonna spray it again. We're gonna try to start it again, and it shouldn't start because that should be a kill switch, so it shouldn't start now. So let's see. Okay, doesn't start. Now let's flip this switch. Okay. It's enough pulling on this dang thing. So, let's go ahead and drop some fuel down there. Freaking hose. Wouldn't let me twist that thing off of there. I did end up putting our fuel in a fuel can. I need a funnel. Where's a funnel? You guys see a funnel anywhere? Let me know if you see it. Found one. It's not very big, but it will work. Possibly. Probably. Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. This jerry can doesn't freaking dump very well, but alright. As long as we get some in it. Alright, that should be enough to see what's going on with this thing. Alright, so now we turn her to the on. And then we just see what happens, right? Can you see me? Okay. Alright, let's take that. Put that back on. That hose is just stuck in right there. It works. Perfect. Okay, that's on. Have a half choke. Full choke it. See what happens. Give it a roll back. Whew! She smokes like a freight train, man. I think that's mostly that fuel. I think they got some two-stroke oil in there. Way too much. But she runs. I knew she would. The carburetor was clean. Alright guys, so I just went ahead and got that switch mounted up. Ran it down the same place the other wire was. Had to put a new connector on it, on both sides of it, and put an eye loop on the ground, and it all works. I tested it, so yeah, I guess the only thing left to do is give it a test ride, see what got to put some air in the tires, and then yeah, just go ride it around. I think I'm too big for it, but I think I'm gonna ride it anyway. All that work and I don't get to ride it? No, we're gonna ride it. I don't know if it's got enough power to roll me around.
clutch up.
Alright guys, I say that was that's a success. Got it running. Yeah, little motorcycle's running. Runs pretty good. But we had to mess with the idle a little bit. But yeah, it wasn't too bad once we figured out that throttle was messed up. Put that new part on it. I think that was the biggest issue with it. But yeah, kids are having fun on all the toys. My daughter's having a blast on that motorcycle. She's barely learned how to ride it. And was it fun?
Yep.
Yeah, they're having fun with it. Like I said, it's not ours. I might have to get them one. But
Wait, it's not yours?
nope,
Whose is it?
it's the neighbors.
Oh.
Yeah, but yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, hit the thumbs up. And yeah, we got it running. So we'll see you on the next one.